futuristic version of the 1990s USA. It is a world where robots serve humans. A young girl named Michelle watches proudly as her little brother takes on a complex mathematical problem that can only be solved by the best minds. The professor is astonished when Michelle's little brother, Christopher, says he is done. He completes the test way faster than Einstein, who took 3 days to complete it. As they leave the building, Christopher bumps into a man in a military uniform. "Watch where you're going, son. You must think you're real funny. A robot on your shirt. It's a cartoon. Is that crime now too? Join humanity, son. War is come." Sorry. At the moment, tensions between humans and robots are rising, and it seems a war is imminent. After the altercation, Michelle tells her little brother how excited she is to see him going to college. Christopher says he only took the test to see how he would perform, and he isn't ready for college. Michelle senses his hesitation and offers him reassurance and encouragement. She promises to always be there for him every step of the way. Michelle lightens his mood by making a signature gesture from their favorite cartoon, Kid Cosmo. Always remember, Kid Cosmo's your pal. Do that. On TV, there is news that Kid Cosmo has been cancelled due to anti-robotic sentiment that has been brewing across the country. On another show, a man named Ethan Skate, the CEO of Centra, is being interviewed about his detest for robots. A documentary shows how the robots were first developed in 1955 by Walt Disney as a form of PR for his theme park. Then, with advanced technology, they were developed and mass-produced as machines that work around the clock to do jobs humans won't do. Then one day, they decided they'd had enough and decided to rebel against the humans. Led by a robot named Mr. Peanut, they demanded autonomy and equal rights as humans. This led to a brutal war with humans. President Bill Clinton declares the robots the enemy of the state and orders that anyone who harbors them will be charged with treason. For 2 years, the war lingered without resolution. They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't blink. I blinked until Ethan Skate intervened. He invented a device called the Neurocaster, a device that links the human mind to mechanized drone bodies. With this device, humans were able to match the robot's strength, and in no time, they were all defeated. Mr. Peanut has no choice but to sign the Treaty of Surrender with the President and Ethan Skate. The defeated robots were all banished to Centra's exclusion zone, a desert facility spanning over 100,000 square kilometers. The Neurocaster was upgraded and now allows humans to control a mechanized drone while simultaneously living in virtual reality. The technology that won the war is now changing the way we live our lives. The Neurocaster network allows your mind to be in 2 places at once, work and play at the same time. So become a part of the Center network, now available in every corner of the world. We are now in 1994, a few years after the war, and Michelle is in a foster home. She tries to take off her ankle monitor, but she is being monitored by Ted, her foster dad, through a Neurocaster. Ted wants her to enroll in an after-school activity so he can get extra payment from child services. So important to Ted. Why doesn't Ted tell me himself? Because my frontal cortex is in Vegas with Cindy Crawford. I'm not best on that for you. Frustrated, Michelle refuses and leaves for school. That's a 57 Les Paul. Do you know how hard that was to find? It did involve it. All this shit's looted from the exclusion zone. They're stealing. It's black market. At school, the students are mandated to wear their Neurocasters for classes. Michelle refuses, claiming she prefers to live in reality. Because of this, she is summoned to the principal's office. While there, the principal vows to report her to her parents, but after checking her record, she is surprised to learn that her parents and brother are deceased. A lot of kids here lost family in the war. Michelle reveals they didn't die from the war, but they died in a car accident caused by a deer. The principal suggests that she used the Neurocaster as a means of therapy to get over her pain. The mention of her brother brings back memories of one of their moments together. Michelle declines the principal's offer and leaves. Later that night, Michelle dreams of the moment her father hit a deer, an accident that took her family from her. She finds herself in the hospital, being attended to by a bespectacled doctor. Moments later, she wakes up to the sound of a crash outside her room. She goes out to check what it was. She's shocked to find a cartoonish-looking robot named Cosmo. She panics, tries to wake Ted, but he is out cold. She hides under her bed as Cosmo approaches. Cosmo finds her and shows no aggression. He gestures to her to fix his speech module, which she does, but Cosmo can only speak in cartoon lines. Gaspy. He picks up a photograph of Michelle and her brother and points at Christopher. He gestures that he is Christopher. Michelle refuses to believe him. So she drags the photograph out of Cosmo's hand and sends him crashing. Ted hears the commotion and enters the room. On seeing the bot, he accuses Michelle of breaking the law. Angrily, he pushes Michelle to the floor, but Cosmo catches her. He does the signature gesture from their favorite cartoon to gain her trust. He then proceeds to defend Michelle. Ted picks up a golf club to defend himself, but he gets his ass handed to him. Out of frustration, Ted picks up the phone and calls 911. Before he can explain what was going on, Michelle picks up a taser and zaps him. Cosmo and Michelle make their way towards Ted's car. Cosmo helps her damage the ankle monitor. Ted chases after them in his Neurocaster drone, but they run him over and flee the scene. The following morning, Cosmo led them to an abandoned robot graveyard, where they discovered they had a flat tire with no spare. Michelle begins pressing Cosmo for answers. Cosmo reveals that the real Christopher is alive, but he is in trouble, and they need to find him. When Michelle asks where to find him, he points at Sentry, the neurotech company owned by Ethan Skate. He reveals reveals that to get Christopher's exact location, they need to find the bespectacled doctor from the hospital, doctor with glasses. The mention of the doctor triggers memories from her accident. I'm afraid I have bad news. Your brother Christopher, he passed this morning. She brings out a map, asks Cosmo where they can find the doctor, and he points to the exclusion zone. That's the middle of the exclusion zone. The only problem is that the exclusion zone is designed so that robots can't get out, so getting in for them is almost impossible. Michelle searches Ted's car trunk and discovers packages from a smuggler supplying Ted with goods from the exclusion zone. This stuff is from the exclusion zone, which means whoever owns this P.O. box knows how to get in and out. With no other option, they decide to track down the smuggler. They head towards New Mexico, the smuggler's location, navigating through towns and deserts, ready to unravel the fate of her brother. On getting to New Mexico, Cosmo couldn't help but pity a homeless man absorbed in the Neurocaster. Cress, what are you doing? There's only one chance. We got to combine our Cosmo module. Jesse, the Earth is in danger. There's not much we can do. They hide near the parcel locker the smuggler uses to send his goods. At the same time, a robot hunter, Marshall Bradbury, who has been tasked with tracking Michelle and the robot, finds Ted's abandoned car through his mechanized drone. He sees the address on the smuggled parcels and realizes where to find Michelle. Back in New Mexico, the smuggler's cargo truck arrives. They watch from a distance as a smuggler named Keat collects money from his parcel locker, then conducts an illegal gun deal with a customer. He hands over a relic revolver to the customer's mechanized drone and questions why he didn't show up in person. Is it loaded? Yeah, original shells and everything. I throw them in for free. Well then, I'll pay. Sip. You were here in person. I know that you wouldn't have the stones to point that at me. Oh yeah, I would, and don't talk about my stones, okay? Frankly, I'm shocked by your behavior. What's wrong with you? You're a little fragile for a guy fencing stolen goods in a parking lot. Not fragile, I'm shocked. I said I'm shocked. It turns out Keat isn't working alone. A robot partner helps him with his illegal dealings. Took your freaking time, didn't you? Julia Jets, I was in power save mode. Can't believe that shit worked. This guy's an idiot. While they are hiding the customer's drone body, Michelle and Cosmo sneak into the back of the truck. The following day, Keat and Herm arrive at their hideout, which is built against the wall of the exclusion zone, unaware that they have Michelle and Cosmo in the back of their truck. After storing their stolen goods inside, Keat tries to grab some snacks, but finds out that his fridge hasn't been working. He gets really agitated when he discovers that his food is all spoiled. The frickin' fridge died because Herm unplugged his fridge so he can use the extension cord to charge himself. Look at me, Herm, look at me. I am looking at you. Did you unplug this and take my extension cord to your charging station? No, you're blinking. I can see that you're blinking, so I know that you're lying. Okay, be honest with me. I won't get mad now. What I need is for you to admit it. Just tell me that you took it, and I won't get mad. I took the cord. God, fuck the marathon. I got no food. What do you mean you got no food, man? I just carried a crate of food in. Those old after antiques a kid. What are you talking about? There's Zagnuts. Everybody likes Zagnut. I'm not eating the freaking Masters of the Universe tie-in Zagnuts in the original packaging, okay? It's money. You're gonna watch me start with this. My ribs are popping out of my shirt already. The partners quarrel because of this, but their argument is interrupted when they hear a noise from within the warehouse. They swiftly get into position and catch the two stowaways hiding in the warehouse. You're a kid. You're a genius. Yeah, I am. It's a bot. Now, Cosmo bot. I should be down here. Michelle reveals that they sneaked into his truck and followed them from New Mexico. She explains that they need his help to get into the exclusion zone so they can save her brother. Keat tries to deny having access to the exclusion zone, but Michelle reveals she knows all about his dealings. Keat warns her that venturing into the exclusion zone alone is extremely dangerous. Their conversation is cut short when they see the elevator start moving. Keats orders Herm to take Cosmo into hiding and asks Michelle to pretend she is his sister while he faces the intruder. The robot hunter, Marshall Bradbury's drone, enters. He tells Michelle she is under arrest for aiding and abetting a robot. I'd love to avoid any unwarranted vibe. I would as well, and so would my mute sister here, Veronica. We can assure you there are receipts for each of these unique items. Michelle Leona Green, you're under arrest for malicious assault, grand theft auto, truancy, and abetting an enemy of the state. Oh, crap. I want a lawyer. You can speak. Oh, you're gonna get a lawyer. Where's the bot? He demands that she hand over Cosmo immediately. Keat tries to distract him so that Herm can attack. I'm shocked. Herm shoots at Marshall's drone, but he uses Keat as a shield to block the attack. He opens fire at them in retaliation. He almost takes out Herm, but Michelle intervenes. Keat and Herm manage to trick and trap Marshall temporarily. As they attempt to flee the scene, Marshall breaks out of his restraints and opens fire at them. He tries to take out Cosmo, who happens to be trapped, but Herm jumps in and, together with Cosmo, they engage in a fight with Marshall. Michelle also reacts swiftly by slamming a bulldozer into him, which traps him under the rubble. This allows them to escape freely before the whole warehouse collapses. After escaping, Keat yells in frustration because they are now trapped in the exclusion zone and will have to survive unsuitable conditions. They realize they are now in a dangerous territory swarming with scavenger robots who power themselves with parts from robots they've killed. They run into hiding after spotting one, Following this, Keith leads the group to a secret hangar he has prepared just in case things ever go south. Michelle suggests that they head towards Tabletop Mountain to find the bespectacled doctor who will help them find her brother. You realize your brother is a lemon-head robot, right? He's not a robot, he's a person.